Salutations, everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to this morning's DDO stream. I'm, of course, Samus. God, this feels so close today. Alright. You guys had a good weekend. I played, I think I did one quest this weekend. Not on camera. I did Aguilans. Just because I don't know, I was sitting here. I had come in from the bus. I was trying to cool down. And I knew I had like 20 minutes until the TV show that I wanted to watch came on. Excuse me. I was like, you know what? I'll just log on. I'll do a quest or two. And we'll see what happens. And it turns out that I knocked out Guilins. I had a lot of fun, but I didn't feel like a second quest. Alright, apologies about that. I was doing so well, and then with my nose and stuff, and then what was it? I think Friday it started acting up really badly, and then Saturday it rained, and then everything was fine again until today, and pretty sure that I woke up with the nose full of shenanigans, and the forecast says it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so that is probably what's going on. So apologies. Let's see if we can get the pit recorded without our nose being too much of a problem. I still feel like I have like a little bit of hair or something right there at the tip of my tongue. I don't know what it is. It's bothering me though. I do want to stop and pick up some of the bigger jump potions really quickly as well. Just a minute. Alright. So, a lot of you guys know that when I do the level 9s, I try to pick up these jumping potions from... Oh, what is it called? White Plume Mountain? Yeah. And by getting them picked up, it, in my opinion, really makes certain things a little bit helpful, a little bit easier. And you don't need them all the time. You only really need them for a little bit. You don't even need them for that quest. So I'm kind of glad that they stuck them in there. Oh, do we have points to spend? We do not. Okay. I didn't think so. I want to pull up. Sorry, I'm picking up some things right here. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Okay. Like I said, we're gonna record another pit entry. So I'm gonna go over a bunch of details, but we'll kind of get things going here. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another Road Most Taken video here at twitch.tv/SamusGrobo. We're going to do the pit, and the reason we're going to redo the pit is while over here on my YouTube channel, we do have a pit video. I remember thinking that this was kind of not my best playthrough, so I want to take the time and record a better one for you guys. Hopefully one without some of the, sorry, I got an itch on my ankle, without some of the difficulties and problems that we occurred in that particular run. I'll keep both, but I will obviously make this one, you know, like run 2 or whatever. Also, having a melee, we're currently rocking that Feybuckler build that I've been working on for a little while. Doing the pit on a melee is a little bit different than doing it on like a ranged character. And while a ranged character does a great job of kind of showing things off in general, sometimes it's getting that melee experience is much different. I went ahead and I grabbed a Paladin Hireling. I happen to have her from last quest, so we went ahead and pulled her out. It's always nice to have like a little bit of an emergency situation, and lay on hands are always fine. All right, so one of the things that I'm going to reference quite a bit is that I have a path, right? I have a path through this thing, and it's a lot of like knowing where the quest is, or where the door is that you're trying to do, and knowing whether or not you need to go up or down the tunnels. The other thing that really is advantageous here is an understanding of this map. So I'm going to talk about it here at the very beginning for just a second. So first of all, you'll notice these two big circles that match up here together, right? And they kind of look like an interpretation of spirals, which is trying to show you the idea that, you know, there's two big pillars here being chased with spirals. Okay, that's what that means. And if you kind of get an idea of, okay, well, this one's like the north one and this one's like the south one, you can kind of start getting an idea of where things come off of. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind is that we know there are 3 furnace rooms, and they share a little fire symbol, and this looks like a bridge, like a 3-way bridge. So boom, boom, boom. Right. So that's good. We know that there's an electric room where there's lots of little pillars and electricity shoots out. And then we also happen to know from doing the quest repeatedly that there's a little secret door right here where a bad guy in a chest sits. So that's what that room is. Up here, this looks like a flux capacitor-like thing to me, which I always kind of refer to as the Energon Cube room. But if you notice, it walks down and over, which means it's closest to this north pillar over here. So this is the Energon Cube room. This room right here, I forget what the name of this particular room is. The bilge control room. There used to be a whole bunch of like spikes and stuff in here, and the icon just never changed anything else. But this is basically run through, pull a lever, run back out, shrine if you need to type area. And then I think we haven't talked about this symbol. We haven't talked about this symbol. But this symbol is to represent these little traps on the pillars, and this is the room that turns those on and off. And then we have this room way up here, which is the puzzle that we're going to start with. This is the very first room. So now you kind of have like a rough idea of how the quest is laid out. What different parts go in here, and we'll talk about each part as we run through. But if someone's like, hey, yeah, you jump into the quest, and they're like, yeah, we're down in the, if in my experience, I would say the Energon Cube room. You can at least look at the map and be like, okay, well, this is the Energon Cube room. All right, yeah, so I want to be towards the north side. So then you at least have an idea of where to go from there. But anyway, let's start running through this quest as if we were actually ready to get started. So this is where we spawn in. We're gonna come up here to this first pillar, and we're gonna go up. In my practice, going up or down these pillars is basically the only thing that matters. All right, so we can't go here. We don't want to go across because that's also a thing. So we're gonna jump down to the next ladder. We're gonna keep running up. We're gonna run past this room. If the rooms are red and have a blue force field, you obviously can't go through them. However, if they are yellow, it means we can go in there. And if they're green, that means they're done. Okay, turning this valve off. Now, right now, we are above where we logged in at. A lot of people like to refer to that as the top. I don't know. To me, it's all the same. And see, now we have this the yellow room. So this is a little puzzle. It's not a hard puzzle. What we're going to do is we're going to light each of the four corners, and then we're going to pull the middle. We got a couple of oozes that spawn in here. We want to keep an eye out for reapers. And also we're going to get, in addition to some oozes spawning, when we get close to these sewers, we're going to, there they go. We're going to get trogs jumping out, particularly the caster trogs. Those are the problematic ones. Scorching rays can be bad. Can be bad. Alright, so that light's already on. This lever's on. And then I'm going to smash these boxes. Then we're going to take a look at the solution. Had you not know what's going on. So, basically, by turning these on, or flipping these levers, you're going to see these lights light up, and they kind of help you get a visual representation of the puzzle. By hitting the one here in the middle, we're going to turn all of those on. It's pretty simple. Do the corners in the middle. Alright, so now we have a couple of choices. We know we're going to the furnaces now, right? Light the first furnace. So if we look at our map, that means we want to go from here whoop, to here. So we have a couple of different paths. I'm going to run. However, I will tell you that a lot of people like to put on their featherfall item right there and jump, which is also fun. Okay, so now we're on the right pillar, right? So now we just need to go, okay, well, there's nothing above us, so it must be below us. So we're gonna whoop, go in. Wasn't that room? Whoop. There's nothing here. I'm gonna make sure that I get it pretty much where we want to go here. Whoop. Aha! See? Now we've kind of jumped down, and we can see the light go green there. We have, or yellow, and we have two red rooms. So again, you could featherfall down. If you were to featherfall down, you would basically go from up there to here. I'm not a big person, I'm not a big fan of featherfalling around through the pit, and the reason why is because those traps can get you. You don't always think about them, but they're definitely there, and they can definitely reach out and tag you if you're not careful. Alright, this room we're going to make sure that we're ready to go for action, because got a couple of troglodytes. Looks like we found a reaper spawn as well. What kind of reaper do we got in here? Carnage reaper. Oh, wrecked. Alright. Now we go up. You have a couple of different choices for any place that you're running through of these furnace rooms. So the furnace room contains several subparts. One, there's almost always some sort of Mario skill set run through. Okay. Two, you're going to have all these little traps and wind gusts and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and put my featherfall item on just to make life a little easier. They're not really necessary, in my opinion. There'll be lives where I'll do this without a featherfall item, but it certainly makes it a little bit smoother and a lot less prone to random errors. See, also in each of these furnace rooms, there's also a lever that you can pull. And when you pull all 3 levers, it opens up to an optional at the very, very bottom of the quest. And that optional is where you can get your sweet muck doom. Alright. I got a fly that's just like in love with my hand today. Let's see. The other big thing that's going on here, in addition to all these Mario skill situations, is that you're going to have fire elementals trying to get you. Now, the problem with the fire elementals is that they'll continuously respawn. So you kind of have to either deal with the fact or not. So if your jump is really good, you can jump from here onto here, because the lever that we're looking for is right here on this pillar. If not, you can just keep going. Just keep going around. There'll be an extra mob or two, and of course the fire elemental will have a longer opportunity to fireball you. So do what I just did there. Give it a little bit of a pause so it'll start to throw the first fireball back here somewhere, and then you can rush in and try to get the lever. Alright, so we talked about some of the dangers of each of the rooms, right? We talked about the spellcasters along the way. We talked about the fireballer. We talked about how we want to get a lever to basically lock up these fire elementals and move on to the next portion of the thing. We talked about the levers at the bottom that open up to the Jubilix. There's one more part, and that part is every single furnace room has some sort of optional chest included. And again, you have to Mario skill your way around, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do now. And in this first room is actually a little bit of a trap. I don't know if I brought a fireball wand. I don't think so. Did not. So it's hard to tell, but right here there's one of these little ledges, just like this one, right in this shadow. Again, I hope that you guys can kind of tell if I trace the outline here. And then there's a bridge right here. Okay? Now, what a lot of people will try to do is they'll try to jump to this little ledge and then jump onto that bridge. But I've always found that personally to be a trap. What you want to just do is you just want to jump to this bridge. Okay? 9 times out of 10, especially if you're going forward and you don't have like a big jump spell or anything, you're going to catch this ledge. If you do have a big jump spell going, then you can just jump directly to this bridge, and it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Now, you also might notice that I'm using my mouse look mode a lot by holding down my left mouse left click button. And the reason why is because wherever you have that reticule is where you're going to go. So what I want to just do is I just want to look at this ladder and walk forward to that ladder. Not have to fight it, not try to like jump onto it, not do anything crazy. Because if you do that, there's the opportunity that you're going to mess up and have a problem is real. Then we're going to just clean up this room of all its breakables. We'll talk about breakables in just a moment. And why we kind of fiddle with it. But, you know, just kind of pick up your breakables along the way. Then I like to pull this lever. Depending on whether this guy's a champ or not, I'll either clean it up or ignore it. And then we're good to go. So, the reason we pulled that lever is it opens this door underneath. Nope. All the way down, please. And slightly over this direction. So if you look on your map, you'll notice that there's a pair of shrines off in the nowhere land. Well, this is why, because it's in here. And this is the chest that you get for running all the way to the top, dealing with that nonsense. It's in the shrine room. It also gives you advantage of an extra breakable. Then, before you leave this room, somebody needs to go down the bottom and start smashing eggs. So you notice there's an optional break 25 eggs, but you'll also notice that the eggs count as breakables. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a double dip on your breakable bonus here. One, you're getting a little bit out of the eggs, and two, as you break the eggs, you're hitting your breakable smashy button. So that's the reason why I recommend that you make sure that you do your breakables in this quest, which are really good. And then of course back there, we hit that blue lever. That blue lever is one of the 3 levers that goes and opens up the optional down below. Alright, so now we're going to arm the pit security traps. So again, if you kind of think about, the idea, apparently I can't hit the M button today. If you think about the idea that you're arming the security traps, and again, remember we talked about how this is the representation of the traps and like being on, this is the room we want to go to. Now, if you have a D-door or something like that, you could D-door up to the top and get there really quickly, but we don't have that option. So we're going to basically take the ramp. So this ramp only has 2 options, down and up. And from my personal experience, everything that you want in this quest is either up or down of this ramp. Don't leave the other pillar or go to the other pillar. Don't do any crossovers. Don't do anything crazy. Just go up or down this ramp. So in this case, we're going to go up, because we happen to know that down from here is the Energon Cube. Up, we're going to go past the bilge control room. We're going to go up this little crossover area, which is, again, essentially a trap. We don't want to leave this trail if we can help it. We're going to keep going up. We're going to go past the lightning room, which is called what again? The main breaker room. Kind of makes sense. Breakers, circuits, electricity. Then we're going to go back up here to this switch. And then if we were to keep going around, we'd find a dead end. So up here is kind of like my mental breakaway to say, okay, now we can cross over. In this case, we can fall down. We can take a look around, because up top was just that lever, or that puzzle, the lever puzzle. So we go down here. Again, had we D-doored, right? Had we D-doored, we could have just walked. Let's see if I can find the tunnel really quickly. Right there. There's the tunnel. I'm going to actually set my hireling to walk a little bit closer this direction, and maybe she'll walk to us so we can see her walking. There we go. So there we go. She just came out from the beginning of the quest there. And actually I'm going to move her here because I don't want her to start getting zapped by the traps. Alright, again, we're going to make sure that we have plenty of blur and displacement running. This is also a good quest to have electric protection potions if you don't have the ability to cast protection. Also, it's not unwise to have acid protection pots in here. I don't have either of those things on me, but I'm going to trust that my old ship buffs are going to last a little while. Alright, so we're going to have a series of colored rune wheels in this quest. And if you look around, you'll see these little plates in different locations that kind of show off the different answers to the different color wheels. It's spread around this quest. I generally don't have to look them up anymore. That being said, sometimes I do. Sometimes my brain is not on, and we'll have to take a minute and kind of look things up. But for the most part, we can kind of remember or deduce or figure them out or whatever based off of the handful of clues that we know. So, for example, we automatically know that red is going to be what I like to call gun. Okay, and we know that blue likes to be what I like to call this little hat. So we're going to spin blue around to hat. I know other people call it different things, but you're listening to my stream / videos, so you get to listen to me call it hat for a minute. Alright, let's take care of this Famine Reaper here. Well, good, we didn't get our weapon switched. That's the best. When your weapon doesn't change. Oh yeah. Then you're fighting things with your Muck Doom that Muck Doom doesn't kill very well. Alright. From, again, experience, we know that green is like Pac-Man Ghost or Elephant. A lot of people call that different things there. And then orange and yellow are very close together, and for a lot of reasons, for a lot of people, they end up getting kind of mixed up or flip-flopped or whatever. However, orange will default to what I call I. It's the little vertical stick with two horizontal crosses. Which means that by the process of elimination, right? So we already did Candy Cane. We already know gun is going to be red. We already know hat. We already did Pac-Man Ghost, which means it's going to be one of these two. And they're never already on the correct solution. So we know that orange is going to be H. Then I do this a lot differently than I think a lot of people do. A lot of people will fall to the bottom and work their way up. I would rather take care of everything up high and then come down. So we saw red. So we know that one is correct here. And the reason why I can get away with it is because I can use my hireling to pull that lever when I get the little force field down here. Oh, so again, by the process of elimination, we just have our hireling pull that lever, and then we start clearing the bottom down here. So we're going to have a bunch of breakables, and we're also going to have some monsters down here to slay. Some casters, some oozes potentially. We got a collectible to pick up. And then this room also holds an extra little treat, because you'll notice there's a hole right here with a little ladder filled with water. Down in this area is going to be another treasure chest for us to pick up. So the pit, actually, because it is so long, it has quite a few treasure chests and whatnot hidden in it. There's our purple clue. Boop. Get our treasure out of here. Alright, so now if we're looking at our quest objective, now we're going back to the furnace. You'll notice there's a lot of back and forth. Where if you actually have a couple of people, say there's two of you and you both feel relatively comfortable doing a section, and say somebody goes to the first room, somebody goes to the furnaces. And then by the time the first room is done, guy is ready to start working on the furnaces. And then that would give time for the first person to get here, and then vice versa. Alright, so again, we're going back to the furnaces. But now, since we've activated these security traps, we got to deal with these traps going off here. So as we come around, we should be able to look down and see the furnace room. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw on my feather fall. Since we know what we're looking for now, put on my feather fall and head into the second one. So you notice again the lights, green is done, yellow is ready for getting to work. Alright, so once again we're going to go up. Up. There's only really one path through in this one. In some of the other ones there are multiple paths, but this one doesn't really work out that way. Alright, so you have this air jet that blows you across here. I have not found out the ability to run through this yet. However, what I find to be the easiest is to just walk on this pipe and jump and feather fall over here. And then this valve turns off that air jet and I think some of the acid traps. but it spawns some extra trash around here, so you get like a little bit of an ambush. I'd rather just move through the traps without having to worry about the extra ambush. It takes like an extra like whole half a second sometimes to time your traps if you're worried about a little bit of acid damage here. And then we got a couple of fire elementals starting to shoot at us. They'll stop when we kind of get out of their visual range here. Then we'll pick up another one. That one's a champ, so be careful there. Alright, so same thing. We see the lever, not the valve, but the lever. And that's what we want to turn on to solve the room, to start the second furnace. Again, you could jump up there from here if you have a good jump and some feather fall. Man, I feel like the blur and stuff is just not lasting today. And then we're going to go ahead and show off the optional chest here. Right, you're going to notice very similar kind of pattern here. There's your another little dark jump way out of nowhere, and then our bridge that's lit up. We're just going to jump again to that bridge, jump again here, and then we're going to notice two ladders. Now, when we climb up these ladders, there's going to be an ambush up there with like 3 casters and a melee guy. So the secret is, if you start to get in trouble, you can jump down, heal up, and come back up. I usually don't recommend it because they will be active and they'll know you're there, and they'll do things like cast Sleet Storm and whatnot, and ice storms, and be ready for you. But you can if you need to. Just be careful. Now this doesn't do as much good as it in other areas, but you also have this nice little ledge that runs around. So you could also, like if you're ranged, you could come back here and just try to run side to side. You have to deal with the fact that they are going to be casting Scorching Rays at you and stuff, but that is an option at your disposal. Alright, so now we've got our bonus treasure chest, right? We are right above the doorway. So we could just leave, right? No, we still have one more blue lever to find, a special lever for the optional. This one happens to be in the middle of this, or sorry, it's a valve. But I always call it the blue lever, or the blue valve, because it turns on a little blue crystal. Alright, now we get to leave. Because, you know, we're all done. Everything's completed. Now we're going to reset the power breakers, and that is in the lightning room, the lightning tower room. So, upsy daisy. Again, everything is up or down this one path. The only time you want to leave this path is when you either are going into the room that you're looking for, or you have to jump down to get to the room that you can clearly see. Otherwise, everything is basically up and down this path after the first room. So we're just gonna stay on this path, running along. Looky there, as promised, we found our yellow room. Alright, so let's talk about this room for a second. If we look back here, first of all, there's oozes spawning all over the place. But we have this lever and a force field. Okay? So this force field will go down when you get 2 of these correct levers. Meanwhile, you're dealing with all these oozes. The pillar likes to shoot off electricity. Apparently we got a Plague Reaper out of nowhere. Let's deal with this as well. Get out of here. So we have... It's a dangerous room. It's a dangerous room. A lot of people won't come in here unless they have evasion. They won't come in here unless they have... again, electric pots, as resistance pots, protection pots. As you can tell, we have a 41 electric resistance, and we're still taking like 20 to 30 points of damage a tick here. It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. But there's no rhyme or reason to these levers in my practice. And again, if you're in Reaper mode, every time one of these oozes spawns or dies, you have an opportunity for a Reaper to spawn. So just kind of, in my experience, run through, hit as many of these levers as you can. Listen for the clicks. In general, there's going to be 4 levers per column. This is like the worst part of this quest. There is a trick to moving through a little bit quicker, but it borderlines. It's borderline a no-no. So, for those of you who have watched my training videos before, or my stream or whatnot, I try not to show anything that could get you in trouble potentially. Any tips or tricks or anything that people might consider dirty, we try not to show, even though I will let you guys know that there's the opportunity out there for a couple of dirty tricks that SSG may or may not want you to know about. But I don't want anyone getting their account in trouble because I showed them a trick. Also, we got close to this secret door, which means we're going to get attacked by the monsters on the other side of it. There's always an ooze in here. This Skyborn champion, however, is not always here. Is that correct? I feel like that's wrong. I feel like that guy's always there. Let's just pretend he's always there. I'm fairly certain he is, actually. What is not always there is whether or not that chest is trapped. Man, look at us just standing here getting zapped. Still haven't even heard the first click yet. Obviously, the more people you have doing this, the quicker it can go. I've just found that working one pillar at a time makes things the easiest. And every once in a while, I'll just check and make sure that the force field's still there. There we go. We finally found it. Just in case you missed the DM text. Alright. So this is our champ chest. So we're going to loot it first. Oh, sorry, Fuzzy Boots. Just kind of catching up with the chat here. We are streaming this live as part of our normal stream time as well. The dev that envisioned this quest always dreamed of being a medieval fantasy repair person. Some of us want to slay dragons, some of us want to save princesses, but this dev right here wanted to be the sewer treatment facility repair person. Dream big. Yeah. So you always want to stand to the side when opening this chest because there can be a trap right here that shoots through. If you stand to the side, not only will it generally not hit you, but you also have the ability to walk back out. And you can search and disable the trap, but I think the trap box is on this back wall, but I'm not 100%. And I guess we'll take a second and search this door out because I want to make sure I get that bonus, I guess. Alright, so now we're going to the main control room. This is what I like to call the Energon Cube room. So we could fall down because we know where it's at, right? It's around this pillar, around this column. But we can also just walk down. Again, walking down the same big long ramp that we've been doing this whole time. Oh, don't walk off the edge. I'm going to down the bilge control, past the furnaces, and all the way at the very bottom of the ramp is going to be where we want to go. There's also a little shrine right there, kind of give you some reminders, some visual clues, some landmarks as it were. Should have some spawns right here. You, leave me alone. What? Oh, did I have the wrong... Thought I smashed the low blow. I must have tried to hit something else by mistake. Picked up some stinky. Oh, there's a dangerous trog. Oh, he died. Never mind. Keep an eye out for those champ trogs for sure. Alright, so this room, we're going to have a couple... Good morning, V-Love. We're going to have a couple of dangerous things go on here. One, you're going to notice that mobs will continuously spawn out of these pipes, including oozes. And what makes the oozes kind of complicated in this particular portion is that we need to solve these puzzles. And the oozes like to... When they die, they kind of block the ability to work the puzzles. So I like to try my hardest to kill them not on puzzles if at all possible. This one I think we're going to go like this. And then I like to solve the puzzles down. Or wait, I guess technically it'd be up, right? I like to solve it from the bottom this way, that way. Just makes life, in my opinion, a little bit less difficult. Keep an eye out for those casters again. When the first guy respawns, they're basically all going to respawn, so just be ready. There's an ooze. You can try to keep everything off of the puzzles. Wrong weapon type. Okay, that must have been what I did before. I reached out and hit the 1 button instead of the 4 button somehow. Okay. There's a handful of puzzles for this. I believe they're basically all... I don't remember if they're like literally all in the same spot or if they can rotate. I feel like they can rotate, but I don't honestly know. There we go. Energon Cube is lit. Now we're out of here. So, unlike a lot of these quests, because this has got like a long, dangerous, scary looking tunnel, we will get re-ambushes on the way out. It's generally not too big of a deal. Couple of melees and then like a caster or two at the very end. So just be expected of, or be prepared to get ambushed here on the way out. And not a big deal at all. Alright, we know where the bilge control pumps are. We ran past it on the way here. It'll be the furnaces, and then it'll be the bilge control pumps. So we have a plan. We know where we're going. Right up at this tunnel. Remember, every time I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it, if you get nothing else from this watch through or this run through this video or the live stream, up and down this one tunnel is basically everything you need. Just start slashing and hacking our way through things here. Questions not related to this exact quest at the moment. We'll wait till after that we're done recording this video. Okay, kind of get things cleaned up. We'll grab this lever. So again, apparently this used to be like a big, long, complicated thing, but they decided it was too much and they took it out, is my understanding. I don't know. I think I've always been here when the pit's around, so I don't know. This is a good spot also to grab a shrine that's a little bit more difficult to come back to. We will run back by this shrine again on the way to the end fight, but I think we'll be okay. B-Love says they should take out the pit and spies from DDO. Disagree. More options, more better. Less options, less better. Always want to have the option to do something, even if it's something that's not something that you particularly love or enjoy. You don't want to take away the option from somebody else. Alright, so lighting the third furnace. So, I mentioned before we started the video, for those of you watching the live stream, that I wanted to make sure to stop and pick up these potions of jumping from my guild chest, which is where I keep them. And because we're already level 9, you possibly have already done White Plume Mountain. And if you do White Plume Mountain, you'll notice that you'll be able to pick up 1 or 2 of these potions of jumping that are plus 30 out of there. And they don't disappear when you leave the quest. So as you're doing, every time I do the White Plume Mountain, I pick up these potions, and they get used here and there kind of sporadically along the way, but I like them specifically for this area, specifically for this level range. Had a phone call, apologies about that. Just to kind of make sure that I'm going to make some of these jumps up here. So I'm going to go ahead and drink one. And we have some levers. There's a bunch of valves throughout this on the ground floor that'll shoot you up into the air. I forgot to put on my feather fall. That would have been pretty sweet. So by getting up here to this first little notch, this is like your default notch. If you have a good enough jump, you can just jump straight here. And from here you can run over, jump onto this. Come on this side, clean up this trash. Make sure this guy doesn't spawn. Okay. And then you can use, like, I think it's this valve to shoot this air jet that takes you up here. Like, there's a lot of ways you can go in this one, but I'm going to show you the path that I typically take because of the danger. All right, so we landed up here. We jumped up onto this pipe. We run through this way. We killed that guy. We come over here to this pipe and to this pipe. And now we're going to run up. Oh, we're going to not mouse look lag over there. And we're going to jump over to here. Make sure our feather falls on. Whee! And we're going to catch this air jet. Pew. Now, what's a little bit difficult to tell is that there are 2 chests in here. When these 2 chests spawn, or one of them are open, you're going to get a red named and like 2 casters, I think, spawn. So you might have 3, you might have 4 guys here. So when you open this chest, be ready to move on. Because the second that's open, they're going to jump in and they're going to start attacking. Yeah. 2 casters and a red name here. And you just, again, like I said, in my opinion, you just immediately close the chest again and start slamming down the old killer rootskis there. Alright, so now that you're up here, you don't have to open these chests if you don't want to, by the way. You do have the willpower to ignore chests. So from up here, what we want to do is we're going to land on this pipe that goes sideways. And I like to land on this little puff of smoke. Or try to grab that section of the pipe. I find it to be the easiest part to grab. Boink. And we're going to run around. And dodge all these fireballs. We're going to pull this lever. There we go. Again, like always, if you have some jump, you can jump from here to here. I've been saying that at every one. And the reason why that's important is because, again, the less time you have for these two fire elementals to throw fireballs at you, the easier it is to kind of get things going. There's some alternate pathing if you have some helpers that you can use. So, for example, let's say that I have another helper down here, and I don't have the jump. So I land up here, and we're going to run around this direction. Okay. Trash is going to spawn along the way. Here's one. I think another one will spawn back here in a little bit and then chase us. But you'll find another air jet over here, and this air jet is controlled by that valve. And what that valve will do is it'll shoot you up here basically, or even higher to that valve. And then you can either maneuver around to where we were, because again, remember right here where our reticle's looking at is where we want to go. So you could go to there, you can go to here and run around. And then this air jet is controlled by that valve. So a lot of people will take this air jet. I don't think I can make this without that air jet getting pulled. Yeah. And they'll jump up here, and they'll basically take the same path that I took to this pipe, to over to there, and then up. So, like, there's a lot of pathing in this one. But I really do think the easiest thing to do is to do what I showed. Alright, and here's our our third blue valve. We just want to make a quick walk around here and make sure that we don't miss anything important. Like that collectible. And monsters will chase you through the quest. So if you're worried about like this infernal pack, you might want to just clean it up now. I tend to clean up champs, along the way, try to get those fragments. Alright, now we're going to restart the intake system. So if we've been paying attention, there's only one room, well, there's two rooms left. But one that we can see on the map. There we go. Almost ran past these breakables. And that's the one all the way at the very top across that bridge. We've seen it a couple of times now. So we know where we need to go, is at the very top. Again, this is another really good spot to D-door. If you have access to D-door, that'll take you to the... Basically, it shortcuts you to the top. Skips some running. But because we're, on our melee life and we're demonstrating how to do this when you're not a caster, we're going to go ahead and run through. And as the same rule that we have continuously been harping this entire video, we're going to go up or down, in this case up the same ramp. We're not going to leave it till we get to where we want to go, or until we hit that spot where the oil jets come out of, or the acid jet comes out of. That's our top. If we needed a shrine, we could have saved that build's control shrine and shrined here at the end, or we could walk down the ramp to the other shrine, the spare shrine. Keep going. All right, now we're at the top. Remember where the acid jets are at. We're to come over, jump down a set, across that bridge. Now, before we go in here, there's a couple of things we want to keep in mind. One, we want to make sure we do not have our featherfall active. And the reason why we don't want to have our featherfall active is if something happens and we die, right, and we are thinking about things in advance, and we die up here on this top ledge, there is a possibility that we could jump in such a way that we can actually land on this shrine, right? We can get to this shrine as long as we don't have featherfall. If we have featherfall on, we can't get to this shrine. There's no self-recovery except for our Gibber's Blade or Grizz Cake, whatever.
So making sure that we don't have our feather fall on is important for that purpose. And now, understanding how this fight works is also kind of important. So, there are 3 valves. And those 3 valves is basically what completes the quest for us. So there's a valve on the right side and the left side between these spawn points. And then we have a valve in the back. Okay? So, I'm going to jump up here and kill these guys. So what a lot of people will like to do, and myself often included, is... Well, I'll just show you in a minute. I'll just show you. I'm just going to go ahead and clear these up here. Let's talk about this up here. A lot of people will range these guys from... oh, we got to jump down. We'll range those guys from the top up here, which I think is relatively safe. You'll have to deal with the occasional monstrosity or whatever. But again, we're on a melee, so... and then what I like to do is I like to go ahead and activate those spawn locations and pull them up here. And again, the reason for that is just one of... It delays the casters from coming and getting you because they're busy casting their buffs and stuff, as well as separates the mobs out based off of their movement speed, which can be pretty great. Pretty great. The other thing that I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and use a lay on hands here, I think, to heal. And this is a thing that I don't think nearly as many people do. But you can actually use your hireling to pull those levers. And the nice thing about that is having the hireling pull the levers is you can snap them back right away. But as you see, the levers get pulled and the mobs will spawn. So then you can pull them back. I must have already... No, there they are. I must have already got some of them. And if you have a situation where you have a nice party, you can use this staircase as like a natural choke point. So you can like web up here, or you can cast a firewall and have the melees kind of shield block for the back row, etc., etc. It works out, I think, in my opinion, pretty nicely. So then we pull both of these levers, and when you'll notice that when these levers are pulled, these lights will light up. So before we go pull that last lever and complete the quest, we want to make sure that we have our breakables achieved here. There we go. We're good to go. Alright, so this is where you put on your Voice of the Master. You make sure your XP potion's running, the whole 10 yards. Make sure that's all as ready as you want it to be. Because when someone steps on that platform, and you'll be able to see it right here, these guys spawn. Okay? And you, in my practice, having a little bit of a decoy right there to separate these casters and these melees works out real nice when you're solo. Just kind of distract. I don't care if my hireling dies now. It's not a big deal. I'd rather have the safety and security for yours truly here. The other thing you can do, because you know that they're going to spawn in these pipes, you can set up some crowd control there. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and heal the hireling, mostly because I'm not sure how much... I guess they have my Muck's Doom, so we'll be able to do some damage. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the area where the furnaces is, and we can run over there. We know the path. But in this situation, we also know where the shortcut is. We're just going to run directly there. And there's the furnaces. So, the reason why this is important, why does the furnaces matter? Well, we're going to take this pipe area right here, and we're going to basically slide down that pipe, pushing forward, pushing, what is it, east? Yeah, we're going to go east. So we're going to jump in here, we're going to get right against that corner, and we're going to push east. And what that's going to do is it's going to take us directly into the optional It also gives you this advantage if you don't have Featherfall, see, to have a wall to slide against, which is also really nice. It helps reduce your damage. And you might get like one gray ooze down here to follow you across, but what we'll do is we'll show you when we're done here how much trash can actually spawn if you come down to some of the other locations down here. So it minimizes your spawn, reduces your damage, puts you exactly where you want to go with a convenient landmark from above, right? The furnace room. You've been there 3 times. You know where the furnace room is. And it just makes your life a lot easier, in my opinion. And we got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sing it again now. Alright. So let's go ahead and drink a poison pot, get rid of that. So if you notice here, oh wow, they're just not gonna spawn for us right now. Again, each of these tunnels can spawn oozes. I've actually had so many oozes spawn down here before that I felt like the second I landed, I was ooze surfing. But right this minute, I've only seen what should be 3 oozes spawn at a time here. But still, can be problematic. Which is why I like to go right where you want to go. All right, and then we have the world's longest ladder. I don't think we can recall on ladders, can we? Doesn't look like it. So you can take forever to go up this ladder, or you can just recall from down below after you clear the trash, or I think this is probably high enough, right? I'm gonna recall out right here. You could also teleport using your D12. Not quite long enough, I guess. Close though. Anyway, that's the pit. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you learned something, please like, subscribe, follow the channel. I appreciate it. Thumbs up the video, etc., etc., and we'll see you guys soon. Toodles. Alright, everybody. Thanks very much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Like I said, we just recorded a new pit video for Melee. There's a couple of these videos that I'm going to be doing Melee versions of for the Road Most Taken series over on my YouTube channel. And the pit is one of the ones that I always get people ask about. Well, what do you when you're not a crossbow build or you're not a range build or whatever, how you can get in there and interact and do things. So, not necessarily going to be for every single video, obviously, but a couple. Do we want a returning throwing dagger with a red slot? I don't think I care that much. If it was 2 slots, I would take it. 1 slot, I don't think I care that much. Oh, I forgot to throw away my pit restart guide. Start the adventure. Lame. Lame. Alright. Anyway, let's see. How much is 20 melee power in damage? 3 points, 6 points, etc. So, melee power is, as I understand it, is essentially spell power, but for melee hits. Okay? So, the way spell power works is your spells do a percentage, or whatever the damage is, right? Let's say, in this case, we're going to cast Dagger, and Dagger is going to do this complicated number of damage. Let's call it 30. Okay? So, at 0 melee power, you're doing 30 damage. Okay? Now, when you get to 100 melee power, that doubles the damage. Okay? For every 100, it doubles it. So, what's 20? It would be 5%. Right? So, it would be 5% to whatever whatever damage you're doing. Does that make sense? So, every 100 doubles. So, less than 100 is percentage base. More than 100 would be 100 plus then the percentage. So, if you did like 120, melee power, you would do double and then an extra 5%. So an extra 100 and yeah, 100.5% damage, essentially. That is how I understand it. So every little bit of melee power helps. Let's grab another paladin here. I actually really like the paladins for leveling when I can. Again, they're just there to kind of make lay on hands healing a little easier. Did I? I didn't. Did I? Examine. I did not. Let's go hit our ship buffs. Or ship resistances. Oh, man. Wow, it's already noon. We've done one quest. It is the pit, though, and I did want to record the video, so give it a little bit of slack, I suppose. A little bit of slack. Alright, what do we have left? We have White Plume Mountain left. We have... Oh, we have Storm the Beaches. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff, actually. White Plume Mountain's not on the list yet. That's a 9. So we have Tide Turns Chain. Tide Turns Chain. Did we pick up the first quest? I bet we did, but I'm going to double check before we run out there. I'd rather take an extra 15 seconds here to make sure that we have the quest instead of run out to the and we didn't. And we didn't. So it's a good thing we checked. Done on hardcore? Probably not. We'll probably do a little bit in the afternoons. I'm very close to done in the sense that to get any more favor, I need to, like the handful of quests that I need, I had guides in mind, and now my guides are not around. So we honestly haven't achieved any new achievements or anything on the hardcore server since the third week when we unlocked all of our goals. So we're just kind of waiting to see if Dom makes it back, if Nim makes it back, Mama makes it back, etc., etc. Seeing if we can pick up 3 or 4 more quests. There's like 3 or 4 more that we can get done, I think, pretty comfortably. But I don't know them enough to like lead the group or run through on our own or anything. I don't need a helper for this part of the quest. I wish I did, but I don't. I just don't spend that much time in the post-level 20 world right now. So things like Precious Cargo, the Two Brothers quest, the Study and Sable quest, etc. Hardcore burned everybody out. I mean, I'm not burnt out. I just I think I did a better job of pacing myself than others. So from my perspective, I'm still down. I just can't solo some of these things. Right? I just don't know them well enough to be able to do that. And I don't feel comfortable leading the groups through. Which is why I can lead people through heroic levels, no problem. We want to Reaper through heroic levels and pick up enough favor enough our 10 Reaper points from level 1 to 19 before we even pick up our favor reward, I'm down. Like that I can teach you. That I can run you through. But I can't do this stuff post level 20. I just don't have the recent experience to be able to do something like that. So I need a team. And when the team, I think Nim is a little burnt out. He's also having some real success streaming Grand Theft Auto, I believe. So it's hard to not go where the stream success is, right? When you're trying to break into streaming. And then you you add on the fact that he took on this massive responsibility for others that was moving at their pace and not his own pace. Like I understand Nim's break. Dom he's not feeling well. Again, I can understand to not feeling well for extended periods of time. I get it. So I don't think that our group is necessarily burnt out. It's just things have happened, real life situations. We'll just have to see if they come back together long enough to finish some things. Meanwhile, I'm doing a little bit of not pugging. I mean, I am pugging, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that, getting a little bit of experience. So we'll probably come back and work on that a little bit this afternoon with Pip, assuming that he's available. If not, if Pip's not around, then we'll probably just come back on Serlona closer to our normal time. Alright, let's get our Death Ward up and running. Pick up all these sacks. I like actually making sure we have Death Ward running before we come around this quarter. But I'm not always good about hitting the Death Ward button until after I already take a negative level. I'm just bad. What can I say? And I was really hoping that I would get a second wave of people, a second group, like Tobrell and some of those other guys, wanting to go ahead and come through and catch like the last month of the hardcore server. But it doesn't look like that's the situation. Oh, we could have just taken the D12 to the... We could have saved ourselves a loading screen here. Don't think I care about any of these things, but let's just double check there's no double slots here. Yeah, okay. Impressive trophy it is. think here in the next week or so we're going to do another long fast. I don't know how many hours I can cram in, but I've been watching there's a YouTuber that I watch, and his quote unquote claim to fame, if you could call it that, is he likes to do these wilderness challenges. But the idea is that you go out and you survive off of what you can hunt and gather and find, etc. And he kind of said something again that kind of shot me in the arm a little bit again. He was talking about how a lot of people will say things on his videos when he does these things, like, oh, I don't know what you're worried about, like, I can go out into the wilderness 4 or 5 days, not find anything to eat, and not be affected that much by the lack of food. And he goes, that's because you're obese. And he said, he's like, look, man, I'm at like around 12% body fat. Because I think he said he weighed in at like 140, which is pretty light in my opinion. I'd like to get under 200 again. I've got a lot of weight to go before I get back under there, but that is my personal goal, is to get back under 200. And even that would still be quite a bit of body fat unless I pick up a whole lot of muscle. But kind of mentioned that you end up losing all this weight being, taking like a camping trip, or even a weekend where you have like a lot of activities going on, etc., etc. And it made me start thinking, I need to get back on my fat burning program here. So it's not going to happen right away. It'll probably happen, it might even wait till next week. But I haven't done I didn't do a large fast this month, I guess is the thing. So shoe fly. You want to lose weight too? You just been starving yourself. Well, see, I'm not just starving, because the problem is if you just starve, eventually your body's like, it goes into I want to eat mode, and you have a moment of weakness, and then you end up overeating or whatever. So like I've been doing the eating window. So I mentally have a checklist of when I can eat, when I can get things done. And then I also have a window where I can eat normally. So Friday and Saturday I can eat normally. Sunday I have to stop eating by 6 to kind of get back on the intermittent fasting plan. So like yesterday I wasn't very hungry. Yesterday by 6 I was busy doing stuff. I did eat a little bit, but I didn't eat like I probably should have yesterday. And today I'm really hungry again. I'm really looking forward to this lunch break coming up. And it just makes me think, like, I really should take the time, get another fast in. Because if I'm hungry, as long as I'm hungry and I have a plan, then I can tell my body, like, okay, we only got a couple more hours. We don't have to eat now. It's noon. We're gonna stream until 2, and then we can go eat. And it's already cooked. I think that's part of the reason I'm probably hungry. Is I made basically a weird meat pie type thing yesterday, and it was good, but I kind of messed it up. I was trying to trying to take it out of the pan, and because I cooked it on parchment paper, and I managed to like drop it, and it's all broken and screwed up looking. So instead of it being like a semi pie / breadish type texture, and be able to cut like nice slices, instead it's all like broken and it doesn't look very attractive. My wife came up and she was like, "What did you do? You messed it up." No, it's fine. It just looks dumb, that's all. Yeah, and the other part of that, Fuzzy, is that your body will adapt to running calorie light, calorie deficient, and it'll set your new calorie requirements. So if you eat a lot and you work out a lot, your body will get used to taking in that many calories. So it'll set your new amount of calories. Right? So if you run calorie deficient all the time, say like instead of the 2,000 that is suggested, you usually run at 1,500, right? The problem is if you let your body set itself to 1,500, then you're no longer calorie deficient. So then you have to go to like 1,000 calories, or you have to go to like even, no calories. And that's not great. So you still want your body to register the idea that you want to get 2,000 calories, but you want to make the time where your body is running deficient longer. So that's part of the reason why I do the 2 days of no outside of the fasting window, where I kind of eat as I'm hungry. I don't try to eat a lot. I try to keep my portions pretty reasonable, but I do try to get at least 2 days a week. I try to keep my calories at the 2,000-ish mark. So then, at least for my body, hopefully doesn't go, "Oh, sweet." You know what I mean? And I also try to keep, I try really hard to keep my calorie count to as close to the 2,000 as I can get away with, but just in my 4-hour window, which means a lot of calories in some time, which usually doesn't work very well anymore. But that's okay. Cammy can't boil water right. Well, I mean, not everyone can boil water. It's pretty funny. The wife will be mad if I share this story, but she wanted hard-boiled eggs. And I've been making hard-boiled eggs in the Instapot because it's just so easy. So easy. But she's still scared of the Instapot because, I don't know, something may or may not have happened, that she heard a story that may or may not have happened. I don't know. I don't know why. But for whatever reason, she's scared of the Instapot. Fine. No big deal. So I tell her, yeah, I was doing something. And then I told her that I would go make eggs if she wanted. And she goes, well, I'll just make them on the stove. I'm like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Like, whatever you want. You don't want to wait for me to be ready to make them. I get it. Go have some eggs. So I go upstairs after a few minutes, and she's got the eggs on the boil. In my opinion, probably too much water. And she's like, what's the timer and stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't made eggs on the counter in ages. I don't even like making them that way. Oh man. She's like, well, I googled it and it said this to this many minutes, etc., etc. 8 to 10 after full boil, etc., etc. But I'm like, okay. So she's like getting ready to turn on the timer. She probably should have went like 9 minutes yesterday, I guess, because she told me she put them in for 8. But she kept going. Is this a water to boil yet? Is this water to boil yet? I'm like, babe, do you see big bubbles bursting at the top? Then it's not a boil yet. Is it a boil yet? Oh man, it was funny to me that she couldn't decide when the water was actually boiling, like at a full boil, to when to start the timer. My wife's like that though. She's unintentionally the funniest person I know. Six minutes is a very soft egg. 6 minutes would be like if you're gonna recook them, like make some other things. 6 minutes boil, turn off, set for 2 minutes. The other thing to keep in mind about boiling eggs and stuff like that, it's very pressure dependent, because it depends on water boils at different temperatures based off of your pressure, which is why you can use a pressure cooker to get things hotter. I don't care about this treasure chest. So, I don't know. I prefer the pressure cooker when it comes to stuff like that. You do 6 eggs at a time. Yeah, see, I usually do like a dozen to 18. Like, I'll end up making like this little triangle of eggs in the Instapot. I just personally find it to be extremely efficient. And in my household, not about everybody else, but because eggs are one of the things that are, especially the egg yolks, are extremely high in fat. So I can eat as much egg yolks basically as I can stand, right? And then the whites obviously are still full of protein, so they're still good to eat. So like eggs are like the perfect food. And honestly, if you could like mentally switch more of your meals to eggs, I think a lot of us would be a lot healthier. I have a hard time. I will admit I have a very hard time keeping my egg diet correctly. But they're good cholesterol. Eggs are like, and they keep changing how good they are or how bad they are, but eggs are basically the perfect food. It's like we were made to eat like we developed. Only if they weren't so nasty. Yeah, a lot of people have difficulty with eggs. I'm not one of those people, thank goodness. So anyway, hard-boiled eggs around here don't last very long, typically. So I could end up eating 2 hard-boiled eggs a day if they're cooked and they're deshelled and they're ready to go. And then if they're cooked and deshelled and ready to go, the kid will eat them, the wife will eat them, like everyone will eat them if they're already cooked and deshelled. But the only person who will cook and make eggs and deshell them 9 times out of 10 is me. So I would rather make a huge batch in the Instapot and then do the shake the shell away method. Just doesn't take that long. Mine of the Sarah Silverman skit about eggs, even the names is gross. Yeah, I don't think I remember that particular skit. I love Sarah Silverman. I'm really not sure why, but everything about her is great except for some other things. Almost everything about her is great. I've said this before, but I'll say it again for people. I find it really weird whose comedy I find to be funny and whose comedy I find to be like not at all good. So like Sarah Silverman, I genuinely think is funny, but Amy Schumer, which is basically the same style of comedy, is not funny at all. And I don't understand why. Like I can't put my finger on it. But Nikki Glacier, I know that name. I have to Google. No thanks, phone. I know I said the G word. Now you're like, I'm ready to help.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't need you to help me there. Is this feels like the girl that... Yeah, okay. I've seen her do some roasts lately, and some of her roasts are really good, but I don't think her stand-up is generally particularly great. Like, I like Whitney Cummings. I like, I know her last name's Gillen. I can never think of her first name. She's only got the one stand-up special, which is a crime, because she is hilarious. Karen Gillan, maybe? That sounds correct to me. Wanda Sykes is pretty funny. Ellen's stand-up is great. Like, it's not a female comedian thing. I don't know. I say that kind of stuff to Tobrell sometimes, and he's like, he always kind of asks, like, you like this style of comedy? I'm like, yes, but I don't like Amy Schumer. Ellen is a Nazi, though. Is she? Is she a Nazi? Or does she occasionally have the stress of having a TV show come out in what she believed to be a safe place? Well, obviously not bad enough that they quit. So she must be doing something right. I've worked for bad bosses in the past, right? You don't stay with a boss that's bad unless there's a reasonable trade-off. Lots did. Well, there you go. Over half. I think they dropped off when the news started to break, right? So they were getting the sympathy, but they didn't leave before. They left. They left later. They left when they could get their 15 minutes of fame or whatever. I'm not saying that she should treat people poorly, obviously. I'm just saying that when it's easy to have your high stress situation, and it's easy to let that high stress come out with people that you feel like that you can trust or be safe with. And when you think you have a relationship with people or employees or underlings or whatever that you were under the impression was good enough that you could let go, it's a little bit of a realization that that's not necessarily the case. Yeah, but you're making $200 million a year, but by putting out an extremely successful TV show on almost like literally a daily basis, like you're doing a lot. It's a lot of work. I'm not saying that you should. I'm just saying that I understand. Again, I like Ellen. I feel like it's also really easy to get piled on in this day and age. I suspect that there's probably been situations that maybe have come across as less fortunate than others. I'm not saying that you're not a great boss, but things can fluctuate. Things can fluctuate and change, and outlooks can change, and it takes two people to have an encounter. That's the other thing to keep in mind, is that, or more, obviously, but it takes at least two. So your interpretation of what's, how you feel like something is treating you might be really negative, where somebody else thinks of it as a positive. So, like, for example, I was working with a guy, and he was going to show me some technology or some programming technology stuff, and he was like, "Oh, it's really simple. You just XYZ, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Okay. Well, what about this situation?" He's like, "Oh, well," and then that, and then this thing, and we're discussing it in really fine detail. And he's like, "Well, I'll come up with some examples and we can go over them tomorrow." And I'm like, "That sounds amazing." And I remember leaving the conversation feeling like $1,000 because I felt like we had come to we had discussed a lot of problems that were going on in my mind. He was the experienced person with this particular skill set, and he was going to come up with examples for getting all this stuff together and yada yada yada. And then the next day I walked in to my office and I was getting ready to start work, and my boss calls me in, and my boss is like, "Are you trying to get so and so to quit?" I'm like, "No, why? What's going on?" And he was going on about how I made him feel really bad, and that how nothing was going to work, and all these problems. And I guess I literally ended up taking this guy, he had a panic attack at work after I left. And I'm like, how is this all on me? I was trying to answer my questions and answer my fears, and I'm sorry that this young man ended up getting a panic attack, but that's how I feel every minute of every second of every day when we're talking about making this switch over. Because I don't know, I don't understand, and I'm just trying to get his experience shared with me in such a way that I can understand it. Well, basically, my boss decided that if it ever happened again, I was fired. Him feeling like that. I can't control how this guy feels. It's not my job to control how people feel. But if he would have shared that experience later, again, I would have said it was a positive exchange, and yet it was bad enough that it spun him into a panic attack, and we aborted that project. So not only did I feel cheated that we ended up a project not happening, but also I didn't get the education that I was looking forward to that eventually led me to leaving that job. Because this guy had a panic attack because I was asking questions that he didn't have the answers to. Which was the whole point. The whole point was for me to ask questions that if I don't have the answers to, and get answers to those questions. Like, I didn't know the answers to these questions. This kid apparently didn't either. This guy that we hired specifically because he could do this stuff. And I was just like, this is not my problem. I don't understand. And then in that conversation, my boss basically also said that I was a nightmare to work with because I felt like everything I was trying to like do stuff all the time, and I was just like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I was just asking questions and trying to get stuff done. Like, I realized that I have a different schedule than others, which I apologize for, but at the same time, like, was I really that difficult to work with and for? I don't know, because I have a laundry list of people that up until extremely recently still called me asking for help with those projects at that company. So I feel like if I had such a reputation that people would not be calling and asking me for help, people who I was doing stuff for and getting things done with. Anyway, I gave a month of vacation time to Jamie, paid for her Hawaii with my girlfriend. What boss does that? So, in my mind, sometimes the tie of relationship, friend and business, is sometimes difficult and fuzzy. So I could understand how some people, I'm not saying that Jamie does, I'm not saying that you do, etc. I'm just saying that some people could struggle with that level of friendship. Sounds like you guys have not had that be a problem. Sounds like you guys have a great working relationship for years and years and years. So, I'm just saying that if you were to hire somebody else to do that job, and a year into it, you're like, hey man, I want to go on vacation for a month. You're coming with me. I'm paying for everything. They might just feel like, okay, well, that's not really me going on vacation or whatever, you know? I said, I certainly feel like some people will take that relationship different ways. You guys clearly have an excellent working relationship together, so you should definitely be proud of that. Can you please switch weapons? Thank you. Yeah, so she's still working. Even though she's someplace beautiful and gorgeous and, you know, working vacation. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that. I don't have no idea how she feels. I certainly don't want to put fears in her mouth. I'm merely stating I could see how somebody else, especially years later, could come back and be like, oh man, he didn't even let me go on vacation. He like made me go and take care of his trip to Hawaii for, you know what I mean? Like I could see how somebody years later could get that different. I said it takes two, man. It takes two to have some sort of negative reaction. Come on, water elementals. I hate it when these water elementals don't spawn. Well, and she's a different. I said she's probably not the kind of person that would complain that Ellen was mean to her. I said Jamie is a person who loves to work, and they're out there for sure. What I'm trying to explain and express, perhaps poorly, is that what's going on in somebody else's head, unless they share it with you, is often unknowable. Whether they share it with facial expressions or words or actions or whatever. So, like, I don't know if Ellen knew that she was a nightmare to work for. I don't know. But I suspect she felt like she was a good person and that people would forgive her for any outbursts she may or may not have. And it sounds like she might have been wrong. I don't know. I definitely know that my former boss, the boss who basically took me off of programming and made me never want to program again, in that manner, felt like he was a great boss. Still feels like he's a great boss, is what I understand. And this is kind of hot. Not for me. This life. It's kind of hot in the future, though. Yeah. Anyway, he still feels like he's a great boss. Yeah, she does sound special. I'm not saying she's not at all. I think I'm just going to take one of these things and just eat it. Like, this is not enough gilder now that I care, so all this stuff is level 5. I guess while we're here, we'll just go pick up our saga. I don't like holding the sagas. I like grabbing them now and just being done with it. I know there's a couple of people who like to hold them and save them and like not have to do like as much level 19 stuff or whatever, but I like those quests. So anyway, my former boss, he had to hire 2 people to replace me, and one of those guys, I don't know, a friend of mine, I suppose, acquaintance. I don't know how exactly. I don't know how good of friends we are. I feel like we're probably medium good friends. Like, if he were to get married, I think I'd get an invitation to his wedding. Anyway, he started working there. And he was like, any advice? I'm like, yep, just start keeping a log of every time, and this guy's name is Chris, that Chris loses his S. Just keep a log, what happened, what time, etc., etc. And, like, make any weird notes about his behavior in the following days. Because he, I was trying to let him know that he holds a grudge for a couple of days. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. And less than a week later, he comes up to me and he's like, thank you very much. I'm like, what? He's like, I started doing that and I've already got like 5 pages or whatever written. I'm like, jeez. Alright, so Sweet Level 10 is going to be our 10th bard, our 5th bard level. I believe that's our final bard level. Yeah. And then I don't think we have any like perks or anything that pop out here at level 10, right? No. Okay. Alright, we're done with balance. So our perform, our spellcraft. Honestly, I don't even know if we need more UMD. I'm going to take it up one more just to make it an even number. I think this is fine. Do we want heal? Probably. As we are trickling out of like UMD and out of balance and stuff like that, I think we want to try to put heal in when possible. We'll take merfolks and we'll take... I guess we'll take Rage. Rage is still plus to hit and plus to hit points. But it's not plus to damage. Oh, you know what? We actually still need it. Alright, so we're looking for 33 points in this tree. 3 of them are going to come from... Oops. Alright, so what are we missing here? Double Strike 2. Elegant Footwork. Okay, so let's... So we can get another 10% double strike, or 20% chance that enemies just fall on their butts when they're attacking us. Because I don't think +1 charisma does anything right now, right? Not really. Yeah, let's have them fall on their butts. And then we have our Reaper enhancements change. I don't think this tactics is actually doing anything for us. Also, we don't care about spell DCs. We do care about universal spell power. We don't care about spell pin. We do care about PRR. We do care about reflex saves. Some of these things are going to get changed soon. Like, we don't need Reaper's Focus to spell DCs. I don't think we care about Reaper's Tactics. We're not really tripping or anything, because I don't think it adds to this DC. This one's probably fine. So we could shave 2 more points eventually. Alright, now let's have some real fun. Let's gear up. The gear situation is always a little bit of a nightmare. So I want to take a minute and really start figuring out like gear points. Like what's good to wear when, specifically at some of these levels here. So let's see. Let up. Let's get the wiki up. Trying to decide how the easiest way to get here is going to be. Alright, so I think we want this Silent Avenger set. see. That's going to give us... There's an armor, cloak, belt set. Sign of injury is 5% double strike, sneak attack die, some fortification bypass, and damage versus helpless. The shadow cloak is going to not be that great for us, really. Deception is okay, and ghostly is okay, but hide and silence not really going to be our thing. Then the belt here is kind of meh. It is blurry, so again, we don't really need blur. And some dexterity stuff. I really don't think there's another set that we, in the Ravenloft things, that we really care about. Crypt Raider is medium. We need to stay light. Night, that's heavy. And then Beacon of Magic, just I don't think does that much for what we're looking for here. It is some spell power, but the rest of it's not really a thing. So yeah, I think we have to be this set. And I'm kind of surprised we don't have some more options. Yeah, that's the medium. I might keep looking at it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. But that's, again, that's medium. I have a feeling that it's over here in the bank. Alright, level 10 to level 10, please. Alright, so we're losing our invulnerability. We're going to be losing our mummy wrappings. And we're going to be losing our Cloak of the Mimic. So I didn't stop to look at what the damage or the hit points were before, but I feel like we're probably lost some hit points. So now we need to consider, I think we probably still want the Raven set. This 5 Seeker is probably still pretty good. We don't need Ghost Touch anymore. However, this is also Magical Sheltering 13. Because this is physical resistance, right? Yeah. Stupid fly. We put on the Hardy of Charisma necklace at level 10. It's honestly pretty good. We could also put on a Adhere to the Mist set. Using like the Kindred Spirit. Yeah, I don't really think we want. I don't think I have the slots that I can cram together a Adhere to the Mist set. It is possible that we want to break our Raven set. It is still 3 damage that we can't get anyplace else, but I feel like we could probably make some changes and get away with some stuff. Yeah, I don't care about songs. Perform is damage, though. So if we do... make this swap, we would gain 2 damage. Oh wait, we don't need a double strike here. But yeah, we do. Yeah, we could up our double strike some more. Our current double strike is 51. Wait, something is giving double strike. I don't see anything giving double strike. Oh, our buckler is giving double strike. Never mind. Yeah. Lexington. I'm good. I love that name, Lexington. I'm just trying to decide if I want to put on like this curse bang ring or something else, and like put on this necklace. We also have a bracer slot that's kind of free. I feel like this is probably pretty good. Well, we're gearing up for level 10, and then we're gonna do another hour and change of questing here. I'm just trying to decide if I want to cram in an Inherit of the Mist set. It's very good. But to do so, I need to put on the Kindred Spirit. I probably have to put on... Where'd those stupid goggles just go? Oh, here. I have to put these on. This ring could already go on. So then I need a bracer and a necklace. And there's just not that many good necklace ones. For kind of what we're doing right now. Oh wait, never mind. I already have a necklace. Necklace, goggle, ring. Yeah, bracer. About how many levels do I swap out gear? I like to look every single level because for me that's part of the Skinner box button of taking a look. But generally the only times that really change are get a little bit at 4 because you get your mimic gear at 4. 7 is when you get your set at Redfin set if you want to put a Redfin set on. 9 gives you access to like Black Opal bracers and usually anything else from White Plume Mountain. 10 gives you Ravenloft stuff. You basically run Ravenloft stuff until 15 unless you happen to have some green steel that you want to play with. And then at 15 you're basically done with maybe the possible exception of like a bauble or something here and there. But I always like to look. For me, it's a big part of the fun. Oh, plus you have your Ring of the Stalkers at 11. That's also pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm not going to put on the Inherit of the Mist set. I think I'm going to be ready for the Manslayer Big Seeker Ring. And then when I make that switch, I'll also switch these boots, I think. Which means I guess we just put this ring on for now. Oh, also I suppose there's a little bit of stuff at 8, depending on how you how your Against the Slave Lord sets stuff is done. So there's like levels all the way. There's also some stuff at 6 from like the new 12 quests. So I mean, for me, like I said, I like doing it every level. I like looking. Doesn't mean that stuff gets changed, but I like to at least take a look and see. I think these are... Oh wait, this hat no longer is necessary because we're wearing this necklace. So what hat do we want to put on? We could put on our hit point hat, which is 15 hit points. Or we can put on a different level 6 hat. I think we're going to put on the... kind of want to put on the dexterity hat. I think I'm going to try it. That there's not a lot of hats that give damage. So 15 hit points are good. I would take it, obviously, but I want to try to increase my damage just a little bit more here. Just a little bit. Also, for people who are curious about the build, I'm going to go ahead and throw the link into the chat.
Lana.
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 Danger zone.
Thank you, my friend. The Erzeron. Hopefully that's close to correct. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. Everybody, we're going to be here for another hour or so, give or take. I don't know how much of you guys are DDO people, but welcome, greetings, salutations. My name is Samus Garobo. We're currently on what I'm calling the Feybuckler build. I'm going to relink it here. 10-hour stream, time to relax the brain. Yeah, I don't do super long streams right now myself personally. I'll do like a 3-hour stream and then I'll do like a 7 or 8 hour stream after a short break. It gives me a little bit of time to hang out with the family as well as everything else here. Alright, so level 10, that means 8s are on the agenda. We Thrall the Necromancer, Thrask Arena, CO6, The Mind. Oh, we have so many good quests. Let's start with the Necromancer here. You're working on flipping your sleep schedule? Yeah, it's been there, done that. Used to work a lot of weird schedules myself. But yeah, my goal right now is to try to cover the lunch time for East Coast, West Coast, so people can hang out with us during their lunch break if they'd like to watch some Dungeons and Dragons online. And then I also like doing like that after dinner time. That being said, I've started even earlier and earlier. Like right now, we're going live like at 4 o'clock Central, and to do a little bit of hardcore server stuff before we transitioned back to Solona. So we actually we're getting in a couple of extra hours that we normally wouldn't even get in. Although that typically means that I've been wrapping up earlier as well, so. Delora was right here. Come on, let's go. There we go. Just rolled up a Rogue Artie Drow. Assuming into damage and ranged, it's probably okay. Get some work done. Kill some things from over there. Assuming sneak attack dice and all that. Just doing chill R1s today. This is, especially now that we've got our Ravenloft set, pretty much an R3, R4 solo melee while you're TRing. Now after level 10 for sure, but still tired. If rolls are in your favor. Oh yeah, that I'm seeing the damage proc. It's not doing anything, but I'm right now because we're in the undead quest, but seeing the numbers at least. Alright, don't forget to dodge the trap up here. Doop. And then we're going to chug a neutralized poison. It didn't help as much as I thought it was gonna. We don't want any of your magic missiles, hun. Alright. Yeah, I'm definitely noticing the spell power drop and the healing amp drop from switching out the necklace. We're going to end up casting quite a bit more here, so we should probably look for a healing stick to equip when things are quiet. We need to heal up. I don't know why. I always have a percentage of flies in my bloody office. It doesn't matter if it's wintertime, summertime. God, it's so annoying. I cannot figure out how to make them leave me alone. So the only thing this build doesn't have going for it that I'd like to see in some magical Christmas land is rogue skills. I know that it's not possible without taking rogue or an Artie level. And it's possible that there's a better version of this build that's using Artie levels instead of warlock levels. I'm not there yet, so I'm not sure, but I imagine if you're going to do a Warforged-esque build, it would probably be pretty strong. So you can get that healing aura instead of the native hit points. It just doesn't damage as well. I really like that it also does damage. I don't know, it's probably Probably almost as good. Alright, we're pulling everything out the best we can. Getting the trash in a situation that we can. I gotta get this caster, unfortunate. Alright, now we can get back out here. Alright, what are we doing on kills? We're at 52. We're going to need 123. I think we're going to have to go in here and get some of these archers. Okay, 56, 58. Yeah, I think we're still going to be just a hair. I'm going to have to... So I don't want to be spending a bunch of time, like, in the in-fight, keeping the in-guy alive and waiting for things to respawn to make sure we get our kills. That is the main thing right now. Hey. Alright, looks like we could have forgot a fragment as well. Alright, yeah, we'll re-drink, or we'll pick up a fresh death ward here. I definitely have noticed the damage number decrease. 54 on our PRR is pretty good for a light armor build. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a big jump on that, I don't think, until a little bit later. But I'd like to get that, keep that as high as possible. Trying to think where. I mean, we'll be able to pick some up in the Warlock tree pretty soon. It might be our next couple of points, actually. I really like these 41 temporary hit points every time we cast a spell. So just like making sure that our shield spell's up and running, bam, temporary hit points. Just slamming Cure Light Wounds, bam, temporary hit points. Which this probably needs to go to off now. We're getting a little low on mana. I don't mind if it takes us a couple of 4 or 5 spells to fill up. But in the heat of battle, I want to make sure that I have access to that Cure Light Wounds for those temporary hit points. Temporary hit points in Reaper quests are gold. Y'all summoned? You're all summoned. This is me using my mana because I'm lazy. Happens. Alright, so if I wanted to right here, we could just leave. There's a window, we could just walk out. Obviously, we also had D-door, we could just leave. I want to make sure we pick up the kills, though, so we'll wait it out. I'd rather get the bigger bonus in this situation, just because I'm gonna get the bonus regardless, and I don't want to be sitting in the infight again, just taking damage, waiting for shenanigans to pop out. 105, so we're well on track. Give us time to pick up all of our mysterious fragments here. And that door's open. So if we want to, we could also grab Ellery right here. Probably would not be the worst thing in the world. That would also give that Reaper an opportunity to get up here and get got, instead of jumping on us later. There he is. I really don't think we need more than 200 mana, so let Ellery go now. We have 2 minutes on our Night Shield, that's plenty. I said that should be 106. Ten more and we're good. Welcome back, V-Love. Yeah, 10 more. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, are we gonna be one short? This is what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be sitting here waiting. My grandpa said you seem like a helpful person. You should do a reading hour at night for kids. Teach them about the Roman Empire conquered the world. I mean, I suppose we could. There's quite a few things that I do have a lot of interest in general. All right, there's our conquest. Now we can focus on taking out the big boy. Oh, look at there. Carnage Reaper came to play. Oh, he didn't make it. How did this guy not die? Alright. You guys get wrecked then. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to unlock chests. Mythic Shield 4. Am I ever going to use this? Maybe. I don't know, actually. He recommends other books I don't think the kids would like. John Johns, thanks for the raid, my friend. Welcome, people, from John John's raid. You guys are having a wonderful day. Little Mitstuni, is that correct? Lily Mitstuni. I don't know. Good morning. Top of the morning to you. Hey, Thanks for hitting that follow button. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Epic Voice of the Master, I think. This is not another life. I'm going to carry it around. We're going to eat it. Oh my gosh. Why have we not gotten... There we go. These quest completions lately. That Arzaron, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Welcome to the USS Fat Halfling. Appreciate you guys. Speaking of, I put out a bus update for those of you who are interested in the bus or the bus project, or maybe you guys have no idea what's going on at all. But I put out a new video last night. We could watch it together on the stream, but I think people would rather just go check it out themselves. It's at youtube.com/SamusGarobo. Hit the buttons. There we go. Perfect. Basically, I now have the front door powered off of a remote control, so I can open and close and lock and unlock the front door off a remote control for the school bus. So that's awesome. It's not necessarily done the best way, but it's the way I could figure out to make everything work with the equipment I had. So to me, that's the best way. But for those of you who don't know, I'm in the process of converting a 1994 Amtran school bus into basically an RV or tiny home or a schoolie is what it's called. That's its quote-unquote proper name, a schoolie. And I'm planning on moving into that full-time with my wife in the next year or so, hopefully. Let's see. We have a bunch of 8s. What time is it? Let's start in the House D stuff. Duct tape and a coat hanger. Make it work. I mean, I don't currently have any duct tape in use in the bus. Is that correct? I think that's correct. But it doesn't mean that I won't at some point in the future. Oh, you know what? We're doing complicated quests. I think this is an 8. Right? If we're doing complicated quests that people don't like to do, let's spies in the house. On a melee without trapping skills. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and grab my hireling here. Whee! Gravity Y! Well, that's the reason why I decided to do it, B-Dove, because you don't like it. I want to show it to you. I know I put out the videos and I do all the things. A lot of what I try to do in my stream is show people that you can do it. Anybody can do any of these quests. This one's actually going to be a little bit tough because, again, we don't have trapping skills, so there's going to be some situations where we're going to struggle a little bit, and that's okay. Oh, I always forget this stupid lever. Always forget that lever. Jumping stuff and the electric floor. So we'll talk about the jumping stuff in a minute because the jumping stuff will be first, and then we'll talk about the electric floor when it comes up. But again, it's all a matter of being prepared and thinking through the problem. All right, that's everything about DDO is being prepared and thinking through the problem. I switched my morning tea and my afternoon tea around this week. Man, it's so good in the morning. Basically, I'm having an Irish breakfast tea instead of an English breakfast tea. Which you might go, that doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But there are 2 different brands that I really like. And one's a little bit higher in caffeine than the other, I believe. So, for me, it's a little bit of a deal. Alright. So I usually take this airjet to here. if I can, just because I can clean up this mess a little bit easier. It doesn't really matter. You can walk around. Not a big deal at all. Well, sometimes. All I know is hopefully Grandpa's enjoying the stream here. Whoa, where'd you come from? I didn't even see him. Alright. So, again, we're going to put our Featherfall back on. We don't really care yet. But it just makes this jump a little easier. Then I have to turn this one time. So this first notch is lit up. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to jump. And we're not going to do anything. We're just going to take our hands off the keyboard and let it throw us around. Then we're going to walk on this one. We're not going to do anything. And we can fall straight down. So, like, there's not a lot in the way of these jumps that are difficult. It's just because the screen jumps around, moves around, it's out of our control. I think we tend to, just like real life, when things are out of our control, we don't like it. But if you know what buttons to do and in the order to do them in, and then you do not cause extra problems by touching things you're not supposed to at times that you don't need to, then it's fine. Okay, so again we have our Featherfall on. I guess we'll kill these guys first. I don't want to be shot at with ball lightnings for while I'm trying to do stuff. Alright, so we're going to walk over here. We're going to stand in front of this pipe. Make sure our Featherfall's on. We're going to turn it on. If we're not standing in front of that pipe, or we're a little bit too far to a little bit too far to the what direction is that? East? Yeah, a little bit too far east. We can get thrown past, which is annoying. So you want to just make sure, be careful where you're standing before you turn that pipe on. He says I'm an assassino. I mean, $20 is $20. $20 is $20. I hope Grandpa is enjoying the game. I hope you like got this up on the TV or whatever, and he's like, because I remember when we first started, he was talking about how we spent too much time playing video games, and now I feel like he's like enjoying the stream. That's what I do. All right, so right here, this is a tricky part of this quest for a lot of people. If you don't know what's going on, or you're not prepared, this floor gets greased. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drink my freedom of movement potion and just move through. But you can sprint boost through here as well. So like in that time it didn't even go off. But you can sprint boost through there, and often get away with it. He's eating grapes, drinking wine while sitting next to you. That sounds like a pretty sweet life to me. Same thing right here. You can get this grease to pop right here. It only goes off in epics? I don't think that's correct. So I don't do this quest very often in epics, and most of the time it goes off. It might go off every time in Epics. Geezer Hermit. But I'm pretty sure it can go off in Heroics. I'll have to try to make a note. It could also be like one of those things that isn't supposed to go off in Heroics and still does, and no one's fixed it. Alright, so here I'm just going to auto run through. I'm not going to try to like game any of the lightning bolts or anything like that. Most of the time, if you just auto run through it, it's going to be fine. Can't believe that guy shot me. Can't believe that guy shot me. Made me pull the lever twice. Jerk. Alright, so at this point, we're going to basically look for the skeletons, the casters first, clean those up, and then deal with anything that's following us. I'm not as worried about like Slayer bonuses or there are certain quests that I do care about bonuses and getting bonuses in. For whatever reason, this is not one of them. And it seems odd to me. Maybe it's because you just naturally kind of get there. I don't think there's any Cyclopses currently in DDO. We have Minotaurs. Yeah, I can't think of a Cyclops. That's lame. Now that you say it, that's lame. Cyclopses are sweet. Alright. So let's talk about this electric floor, since Vila was talking about it here also. I'm going to go ahead and take a second and kill some of these guys here first. So we have a couple of options. One, there's obviously a path that you can walk through that avoids the majority of the danger. Right? And we'll show that path off. But also, this is basically considered a magic. So we could also put on our Pale Lavender Stone and run around. So like for example, we're burning charges, but we're not taking damage. Okay? However, all of this corner floor space is not electric. So if we hug this wall as well as this middle section, we're in good shape. I would use Rapid Shot, but this is a dart, not a throwing dagger. If I had a throwing dagger on me, I would have Rapid Shot someplace on my bar. I didn't grab a dagger. We looted this along the way, so I just been using it instead. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on our death ward, which is probably plenty. We do need to make sure to get this red name knocked out before that's up. So let's go find him. Click all of our double strike buttons and get him dead. Now we should be in good shape to just basically slaughter our way through most of the rest of this. Apparently I need to recast shield protection here. Magic missile protection, night shield. Turning this otherwise useless blue bar into a important red bar is great. It's one of the big perks of this this build, in my opinion. You know what? Just go down. I wonder if... I wonder if we should have killed that guy from over there. Probably. Alright, there's also a shrine and some breakables over here. I think because we have the power of sound, we can break these breakables. Oh, I can't break that one though. I'm not worried about this shrine. Just try to grab a little bit of a breakable bonus. Whatever we can get our hands on is fine. You're free. Alright, again we're going to slam on our Featherfall item here. Just because it makes some of the jumps a little bit easier. Allegedly, we'll see. Alright, we're not going to be able to disable these traps, so we're going to have to be quick. Apparently not today. This is probably the most annoying part of the quest for me. And I'm not sure what it is exactly. If it's... There's something in the functionality of moving vertically up quickly in DDO that is problematic. And I really don't know why. But see how we like leashed up and down and up and down and then we get thrown all over the place. I would really like to understand why this is such the case here. Alright, where exactly are we? Let's see if we're allowed to go sideways a little bit. Doesn't look like it. So there we go. Alright. So there's a trap right below us, and then this electric floor in front of us. Now we can put on our Pale Stone, which I think we will in this case, because I happen to have it, and run across. And then get up here in this box. Oh, we still took some damage. But again, if you don't have a Pale Lavender Stone, you could also do stuff like protection from elements, protection from electricity in particular potions, stuff like that. You're not taking so much damage that it's ridiculous, but you can get away with some stuff here and there. They're close enough now, and we could just hit them. That guy, however, moved out farther. So the trick for these these fire elementals is to get them to move within melee range. And because they like to move off, I think we're... You have to do some pretty interesting negotiations here to get them to be close enough to get got. No, he's too far again. Oh, looks like we had some sort of dot damage on him. Alright, so this one we don't have to worry about. That one's easy. This one we want to stand on top of. And then same thing on this one, we want to stand on top of it and pull. Alright, now here is a trap. This is a trap. So, a lot of people will try to run through this thing and gun it and time it and stuff like that. Don't bother. Just jump down here, take the couple of hits of damage. Otherwise, you're going to get thrown across the room. You're going to end up taking damage. You can get knocked down into the hole. It's a trap. Don't do it. Same thing right here. There's a big tick. 46 damage, 50 damage. But still okay. So the trap with this room is that they're going to try to trick you into fighting in here. Like there's a lever over here. There's all these methods to kill. Not have to be in that room. There's nothing in that room that matters. Just walk out of that room. Just don't bother. Alright, do we have more boxes? Yeah, some boxes. I haven't tried this before. But there's some boxes at the point that you can't get to. But because Soundburst goes through things because it's made of sound, makes sense to me. You can get a couple of these breakables occasionally. So now we might actually be able to get a bonus. I know there's supposed to be a way to tell which one of these is lying and which one's telling the truth, but I just always click this one. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. I don't know. I just always click that one. That guy hit me with a poison. Papa says Umo Subdolo con Segaza. I'm assuming that means he loves sausage. I love sausage. Sausage is good. Sneaky man with wisdom. I try. Alright, looks like no breakable bonus. Sad day. No monster kill bonus. Sad day. Yeah, I didn't think we could, but alright, so we walk over here, and this is the other big part of this quest. Don't take this tunnel to the harbor. It's a trap. Just recall, and you'll recall right back to the house D, where the guy will give you your end reward, and you can move on to the next quest. So it takes like 10 seconds to recall, as opposed to running through the harbor, running through the marketplace, running through house D. Just stop and think. Stop and think. Alright, speaking of thinking, we have 2 quests in here in the Anvil Fire Inn. We get to find some miners, and then we get to go kill a bunch of giants. Again, this is another quest that can be difficult if you don't have trapping skills. But we'll make it work. The other thing to keep in mind is that so much load and lag. The other thing to keep in mind is we don't really have a great weapon for killing rust monsters. I believe this dagger is made of wood. Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully beat them to death with our flotsam. This guy did not die yet. Let's go up here and get this guy. We're gonna try to trip him. Haha, yeah. Stupid light bearer heal. Alright, did that hurt our dagger at all? It doesn't look like it. Good. I love tripping scorpions and spiders and stuff like that. Stuff that you normally would not think of as being trippable. Ah, that guy fell down because of my fancy footwork. Remember how I was considering not taking it this level? Or elegant footwork? I'm glad I took it now. That means he failed to hit me with his dodge. Or probably with my dodge, because my armor class is not insane, right? What is it? 53? 53, I guess, is moderate. What does it say? 66% chance. It has to get hit, right? No, to get dodged. So a third or 2/3 of the time, they're gonna hit or miss us, and then 20% of the times that they miss us, they are going to get knocked to the ground. It's kind of sweet. Just checking for corpses on the ground. Be slow. Every corpse you have to go back and find is time that you're going to be wasting. I am I'm not about trying to repeat this quest and all the walkthrough, trying to find a dead corpse hiding in the dirt. We're experiencing a little bit of lag here. Alright, we tab around like a dozen times to make sure that we are good. It's the same reason why I'm breaking these barrels, just to make sure that I'm not tagging on 13 barrels. Where we're trying to do the quest. Oh, we found a corpse. I didn't see where the corpse was, but we were able to target it, so... There she is. Or he. Looks like a lady. So today is my boss's birthday. I should probably give him a quick call at some point just to say happy birthday. But my boss Todd, who owns the arena that I do that community work for, but which also I got to get some stuff out for people, codes and whatnot. But his wife actually bought him a little piece of land in, I forget where she said. I feel like the answer is in Ireland somewhere, perhaps. And it's a very tiny piece of land, but it makes him officially a lord. I don't know what it costs, but that's pretty funny. I would look into something like that just so I could put Lord Samus Garobo on my title. Then people would be like, "What?" And you'd be like, "Oh yes, I'm Lord of XYZ." Even if it's like some super tiny like speck of, like the Earl of, you know, whatever. Again, continuously spam your button here. Corpses could be anywhere. We still have 5 to go, so I would expect to see ones. There's one hiding behind us. So look everywhere. I think we did more damage to that guy with the exploding barrel than we did with our spell. I don't know. I know that I did that thing so you can get a star named after somebody. So I got a star named after my wife some years ago. But I would think it'd be pretty sweet to have to be a lord somewhere. There's a Body down below. 2 bodies down below. Break some boxes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get over here. How dare you interrupt my slow and steady search of this cave by attacking me. Alright, let's regrab this corpse since we happen to be right here, and then yeah, pick up this corpse over here. Looks like another one right here, perhaps. So we have one more. There's usually one in the back in my experience, in the last room. Doesn't mean that's where it's going to be in this case. It could also be along the path. But, just keep an eye out. I don't understand why this is a peasant. I feel bad for this guy. Always do. Like, if I was somebody that had 4 hit points and I had just watched that guy, one person, slaughter like 15 soldiers in front of me, I certainly wouldn't be like, oh, I better go stop him. Like, that's a situation where I'd probably hide. So, like, I'm downtown, getting something to eat, or I'm at the mall, and somebody, like, shows up at the mall. I'm at the food court, just minding my own business, and this guy, like, security rushes this guy, and this guy, like, with a dagger or karate chop or whatever, like, basically crushes everybody else in that area that is trying to stop him. Shop owners and mall attendants and security guards and whatever. I'm not gonna be like, I'll go stop him. Be like, nah, I think we're gonna go the other way now. I think we're gonna go the other way. Unless, you know, I'm trying to protect my wife or son or somebody, you know, a person. But if I'm just alone, I'm alone standing at the mall. Not doing it. Not doing it. A red orb. And none of the rest of this gear looks appealing. So it's really between the red orb and the impressive trophy. I think I'll take a trophy here. Tell me more. I'm ready for battle. Oh. This is certainly a quest area that deserve to be able to ride your horse in. Oh, Fear Reaper. Disafrabadoo! All I can think about right now is breakfast. My body's like letting me know that it's ready to eat. It's like, nope. Nope. You're hungry. So this week, other than streaming, which obviously I hope to cap out this week. Had we played this weekend, I think we probably could have TR'd on Wednesday. But I hope to TR this week, which means I'll be starting to collect build stuff, probably around level 16 or so. Build suggestions. We'll be starting on our human lives. So we have, pretty much everything is okay as a human. So if you have suggestions, you can tweet them at me, you can put them in the Discord, you can whisper them to me. Just let me know in the in the chat box, whatever. And I'll do my best to either write them down or keep track of them. I can't make a lot of promises about making sure I remember everybody's suggestions. But I'm going to take the ones that I think are going to be the most fun, the top 4. And then we'll start a Twitter poll a couple of days in advance. Probably a day in advance. And then we'll take the Twitter votes, and then we'll do an at the time vote. And then Patreons will also get a Patreon message, and they can vote absentee, I guess, or delayed. I don't know, however you want to put it. So hopefully here pretty soon we'll be good to go. Is there anything worth doing in here? Doesn't look like it, so we're just gonna leave. We gotta stop and pick up lost souls. We technically use mana, so we gotta stop and get them. Enough guys here that the extra double strike chance is valuable. Need a 35%, so we can get to 45% double strike chance right now. We could cross that into 55 very easily. So right now we could make that, well, not right now in the quest, but we could have made it 55% chance to double strike inside with 6 charges, which is actually quite a lot. And then obviously we could boost it again another 30, so we could make it 85% chance to double strike for short periods of time. Seems pretty good to me. This little fragment back here. Ding. Not sure what that guy got stunned for. Oh, we certainly heard the ding. Yeah, we're not going to be able to stun things too much longer with this Sonic Blast spell. I'm actually kind of surprised that we hit so many guys there that we did. Alright, so let's talk about these supply crates. So there's a bunch of these, right? There's 12 of them. And they're kind of heavy. They're 75 pounds a piece. So I usually don't worry about them at all. But if you want, you can collect them and then throw them into the trash. You'll still get that first tier of experience, but you won't get the experience for giving them to the guy. The other problem with giving them to the guy is you turn them in one at a time. Doom, 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 which is annoying. If you could batch turn them in, or they didn't weigh 75 pounds a piece, I would be a little bit more interested in doing that. Or even if they stacked, I think I would have less problems. But 75 pounds times 12, when you're talking, what, almost 800? No, more than 800 pounds. Almost 900 pounds. I don't know about you, but cramming in 900, almost 1,000 pounds is not really awesome for my light armor build here. I don't have evasion or anything like that yet to worry about, or at all. But something that I could pick up at level 20 though, which actually would not be the worst, possibly. So again, kaboom. You can see there's 4 of those here. I don't think it's a lot of experience. I think you're talking like 300 some experience probably. Oh, 800. So if you wanted to pick those up for 800 experience points, it's not the end of the world. Again, if you had a party and people were like picking them up, as you know, if you're dividing that up amongst 6 people, not a big deal. Oh, we could have grabbed the Barovian dagger. And I also think I have a Macabre dagger. We could have grabbed the Macabre dagger as well. I'll probably do that later. This is probably going to be our last quest this afternoon, and then we'll come back. Or sorry, I guess morning. Then we'll come back after our breakfast and our constitutional and a little bit of time out on the bus doing some stuff. Oh, speaking of the bus, I mentioned the video earlier. What I hadn't mentioned was now that we have the front door lockable, I'm going to start working on getting the back door lockable. And then I think when that happens, the wife and I are going to be doing a lot more of these like one night weekend getaways. Just to like continuously be, you know, getting the dogs used to things, getting us used to things. But I think I'll be able to get I just gotta figure out which bolts I need and plan exactly where I want the latch to go, and then get that in position. And then once it's lockable, I think the wife and I are going to, and we might start this week, like we might, depending on what time she gets off work today, we might actually go do it today. But we want to go talk to some countertop companies and talk to them about getting countertops put into the bus for us professionally. Like, I looked at doing it myself, but we have like an odd shape counter at the moment. So doing it myself with like Lowe's countertop or IKEA countertops or whatever is probably not going to be feasible because it won't be a standard size. Alright, we've got to get these casters down and then make a little bit of space. Alright, that's enough. We didn't need a ton of space, we just need a little bit of space. Grab some hit points and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of excited to start. This will be something that will not be done by us, like I said, the countertops. And I think the countertops will really kind of bring in like getting nice countertops will provide an awful lot of, not really class, I guess is the word, but it'll add to the real homeliness of it, I guess maybe is the way to put it. I don't know. Like we'd honestly would like to do butcher blocks countertops, I think. I don't know if it's going to be feasible. But yeah, I'm excited to see what people are down with here. Like I thought about making my own epoxy tabletops, countertops. I thought about using some particle board and building the thing. I thought about building like my own, again using like particle board and or plywood or whatever to get a nice sturdy base, and then putting a top on. I thought about like putting all sorts of family photos down and then epoxying it with a couple coats of epoxy. Like I thought about doing lots of stuff, but I think at the end of the day I would really like to make sure that whatever we have for the countertops is really nice. I don't want to do like a stone or concrete or anything like that because I don't want it to be heavy, but I don't know, something. My brain keeps going back to like a hammered copper, but that seems kind of cray. I don't think we can get away with like a stainless steel countertop, even though I think personally that'd be great, but I think that would, one, cost a lot, weigh a lot, and I don't think the wife is into that as an idea. So I don't know. Like I said, I think we're gonna go take a look at that this week, try to get some rough ideas, try to get some estimates, and see what we can make happen. Because all I know is if I can get the countertops installed in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, whatever, we can the light at the end of the tunnel will definitely be... Like with that, it comes down to like floors and... Alright, so it looks like most of our damage is coming from crits. I know it's a little difficult to tell. But every time we do a crit, we're doing like 30 to 40 points of damage. And we crit a lot. You know, especially with the double strike and everything. And it looks like the poison damage is also going through. A little bit of force damage from the crits are coming through. So again, most of our damage is coming from the crits. And that is because he's got the big high Earth Elemental DR stuff helping him out. But because we are such a little crit machine, we're able to just force it through. We could have potentially did some bypass with the Nightforged Stiletto because it's adamantine, but I don't know that that was true, and we would end up reducing the amount of crits for the moment. So right now we're crit on a 19 to 20 times 4, and here... What? That is not correct. Because we don't have extended critical yet. We should be creating one more with this still. The Sky Pirate Stagger. $17. Now I'm attacking guys that I don't have to attack just to check this critical modifier. Soon this will be better. Soon we'll be able to take extended critical, and the Nightforged Stiletto will then become basically our best weapon, which will be weird for crits, which will become really weird because we'll... Yeah, there's a 16 crit. This should be critting like on a 15. Because it's already keen, so there's 2, and then extra 1. So yeah, it should be 1 higher because it's keen. I don't know. I hope that they're doing the damage correctly, or those numbers correctly behind the scenes, because they are not displaying correctly in my opinion. Anyway, it is food time. Like I said, I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break, and unless the wife and I decide to go to the countertop store today, we'll probably be back around 4, maybe 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is between 2 and 3 hours from now. That gives me a little bit of a break to do a little bit of work on the bus, get some food, hang out with the wife for a little bit, and hope you guys join us again at the top of the hour. Not top of the hour, in a few hours. We have a few action points to spend, so before we go, we're going to spend those action points, and we're going to make a decision here. So we know we want the charisma. We also know that we want this double strike. And all those things cost 2. It's possible this sword dance is also really good. But I think because this costs 1 point, we're going to put the blow by blow here. So we're going to take this for now, and we'll take the blow by blow. The reason why is we want to get to 30 action points, so we're ready to fire off here. I just want to make sure that it's the new one. Alright, with that, I think we're in good shape. Yeah, let's just go make sure everything's fixed before we disappear. We'll grab this House D favor, because that should be some hit points, I believe. Probably 5 hit points. And more hit points are more good. More hit points, more good. Yeah, it sounds strong. Alright, so while we're heading back to the boat to do things, let's see who else is streaming DDO over here on the Twitch land. Looks like Nubacabra has started playing some DDO today, so we'll probably raid Noob. Yeah, seems strong. Get this muted. Copy. He's also doing hardcore, which would be nice, but not today. Today we're gonna get that lunch break. Again, if we're back in a couple hours, we'll join some people, but if we'll just have to wait and see. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the channel if you're not already doing so. Don't forget you can help us out by subscribing over on YouTube, youtube.com/SamusGoRobo. It's a great way to support for free. And of course, you can help us out for dollars over at patreon.com/Samus. That's another great way to support the stream. All right, everybody, peace, much love, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. Papa says you must stay, play, and eat. No, not today, unfortunately. I need to, like I said, I got to go get some work done on the bus. But I'll also get that new the pit walkthrough uploaded, so we'll get that done as well. He wants giants. We did some giants. We'll do more giants later. All right, buddy. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace, much love. Enjoy Noob, and we'll be back as soon as we can. Toodles.